On the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Alex Jones here for Infowars.com. In the month of July, we have got giant specials on everything at Made-in-1776.com. You already discounted Made-in-1776 t-shirts are only $17.76. We have the new belt buckles that in only 2 weeks of sale are very close to selling out. There's only 500 of each. We're talking about Made in America belt buckles in nickeled brass. This is more than a summer blowout special. This is a new declaration of independence. But to expand the InfoWar, we're offering the equivalent of more than 5 months free right now when you get a membership at PrisonPlanet.tv for a limited time, only $39.95 a year. That's more than 5 months free off the regular price. Not just this July 4th weekend, but the entire month of July at Made-in-1776.com. Molon Labe, you can take my gun from my cold, dead hands. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edward Group. It took me 20 years of searching the globe to find the deposit of the highest purity iodine available. The new Survival Shield X2 is mined from 7,000 to 10,000 feet below the earth in pristine, environmentally clean conditions. The iodine crystals we use are extracted from an ancient 300 million plus year old deposit deep in the earth. It's the strongest nascent iodine on the market today. It delivers 650 micrograms per drop. Experience the new formula. Experience the ancient purity. Shield your family. Survival Shield X2. Available now at InfoWarsLife.com.
X2 from InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
From the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
Search the term Latin American slums or Mexican slums. 35 million people in Mexico City, about a third of them living in giant open sewers. Built out of cardboard boxes. I don't blame them wanting to come up here. The problem is putting them on welfare in places like California that's already bankrupt many times over is only going to sink this country down the tubes. If we had a chance to put a libertarian free market government in Mexico, I would donate time and money to try to help Mexico. I want to build up Africa. That's why I got so upset about the murder of Muammar Gaddafi, because you can say whatever you wanted about him. I've interviewed the journalists, you name it, that have been there all over Africa. He was building up all of Africa. He was taking the oil money of Libya. And he was living almost in a shack himself behind a big wall. I'm not lionizing him. It's true. And he was building up Africa and putting in water wells and roads and oil wells and building an African Union for Africans. And they told him, oh, be buddies with the West, brought him in for 8 years, set him up and killed him. And now it's admitted in the Christian Science Monitor and other publications, major studies, that Libya is 10+ times worse. In fact, they even quoted it astronomically bad. It is now road warrior, where it was big hotels and giant roads and airports. The globalists do not have anybody's interest at heart. I wish that I could visit Africa and not be hated in almost every African country as a white man. They just banned in African countries under Mugabe. They just banned whites, period, owning property. Again, a race-based system, because when you get dumbed down, ignorant masses, whether it's in the poor South, people living in shacks, they become members of the Klan because it's all they've got. Or poor people in Southern California who are Hispanic, they become members of La Raza and Mecha. The difference is you don't go to college or you don't get accepted in those communities unless you join it. And it wasn't as radical in the 60s. It's designed by the Pentagon, by the globalist. Look this up. And they have hundreds of TV and radio stations called the Raza or called La Reconquista. Look it up. It means the invasion or the reconquering. And what are you conquering? What, with slums? With drug lords? With sewage running down the streets? I mean, I wouldn't mind being conquered by Switzerland right now. I wouldn't mind being conquered by Luxembourg. I wouldn't mind being conquered by the Ritz-Carlton. I mean, if they were pro-gun, pro-family. I've been conquered by the eugenicist New World Order, and so have you. But waking up to the fact we've been conquered is the beginning of the end of this. And so they want to make sure that Hispanics don't learn English. They want to make the main language Spanish now. First it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago in Texas and California and Colorado and Arizona and Nevada. Oh, let's just make it bilingual. And then it's, you know what, we're just not going to teach English. And you know what, if you don't speak perfect Spanish, forget working at this car dealership or at this restaurant or at this hotel. And then the Hispanics don't learn the global language, the imperial language of the British Empire that's spoken in every country by the ruling elite. Is English. You want to advance? Speak English. You want to be successful? Speak English. Is it good to know how to speak German or Chinese or Spanish or Portuguese? Absolutely. Is it good to know how to speak Bedouin or Arabic? I would imagine so. But you got to have one language, English, one language. They don't want you knowing the number one thing they want to work for a multinational corporation or to work in communications, or to work across the board is English, 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 English. Hey, Robert Rodriguez knows how to speak English. He got raised by a affluent white family, a well-known architect. Yes, Robert, I know all about you. And not only that we're a listener and your wife's a listener, but that you've joined a radical race cult and that you hate my guts. And I know all about everything else too, Robert. And I just hope you can hold on to your sanity, bud, because you've gone crazy. Now, continuing here, ladies and gentlemen, with all the things that are going, when he hosts Obama this week to hike their leg on Texas and freedom and promote the La Reconquista. This is the reality of what's unfolding in this society. And there is a rebranding where Americans are told, you don't have a culture. It's not freedom. It's not guns. It's not John Wayne. That was Manifest Destiny. It certainly wasn't perfect. No, it is gangster, drug cartel, the skinny one, Grim Reaper. How do you say that in Spanish? There's the female skinny one and the male skinny one. And then the big drug cartels either join the male Grim Reaper or the female Grim Reaper. I forget how you pronounce it.
Delgado is skinny.
No. I'm not talking about the Day of the Dead. That's another thing, honoring your ancestors. I'm talking about the sociology research I was doing. We had a professor on who's written a book about it, and it's the death cult of Mexico. And they worship the Grim Reaper. You see it on the cars everywhere. The point here, and they worship the drug cartel leaders. I mean, this is the worship of thugs, the worship of a chief, the worship of El Jefe. This is the worship of warlords. This is like a Somali-style government. You wonder why Mexico can't field an Olympic team? You wonder why Mexico acts like the Horn of Africa, acts like Somalia? Because that's what it is now. It's gone from colonialism that was bad enough, out of Aztec slavery into colonialism, and then into El Jefeism, and then now we're under El Jefeism with Obama, the big chief.
It's Santa Muerte.
Santa Muerte, that's right. That's the female one. So this is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. And when you get a total culture of death, it's over for your society. It's very scary. Let me read the headlines at drudgereport.com. And we also have some of these up on Infowars.com. Border breakdown, deportations of dreamers drops. It was already almost nothing if you can get here and you're a teenager. Now it's ending, and he has big events and big award ceremonies to honor the illegals. Again, to get more of them up here, feds to bring in riot squad against protesters. That's right. And in Dallas, they're announcing in Grand Prairie, don't come out and protest against it. They want to store them. All the major Dallas cities are advertising, come here, we want you. Clash in California, Villa La Raza. We're going to play that clip in a moment. Border Protection Chief. These are not dangerous individuals. No, they're all angels. Perry, Obama either inept or doesn't care. No, he cares. He's doing this on purpose. Some on right push to impeach. Wire, backlash stirs against foreign worker visas. Activist distributes flashlights to crossers. Agent contracts scabies. That's flesh-burrowing mites. 40 infected immigrants. And it just goes on and on and on and on. They're being released into the population with any disease you can imagine, from tuberculosis to you name it. You wonder why we have all these drug-immune diseases now? Militia group heading to the border. 500 released at bus station every day in Texas alone, according to Democratic congressmen. That's a total whitewash. Marietta mayor, feds never contacted us about dumping. Well, just send them to Grand Prairie or Dallas or Fort Worth. They've said bring unlimited. And if a citizen slave there sticks their head up, riot police are standing by, scum. Border Patrol officials under gag order. You know, we broke that weeks ago. Now it's mainstream news. War zone, 11 killed, 60 wounded in Chicagoland over the holiday weekend alone. But you never hear about that in the national news, where they have a total gun ban under the absolute mob boss, the former White House Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel, whose brother helped write the Obamacare and admitted on Fox News 6 months ago the plan is to bankrupt health care with Obamacare. The plan is to bankrupt health care. The plan is to bankrupt the border states. The plan is to bankrupt the power plants. And then that means you. I can't tell you how many yuppies have sent me emails or on the street said, I don't care if they're shutting down power plants. I don't own one. Idiots. That's where you get the cheap power. Idiots that have electric cars and look down on everybody else that has a gas-powered car. I'm not against your electric car, but it takes in the equations more energy and more greenhouse gas to charge your vehicle than it does to have a gasoline or diesel vehicle. Coal is better than natural gas to burn and cleaner. And I love natural gas. People always accuse me of working for oil companies. I haven't seen one nickel from an oil company. I'll tell you, my family's got some gas wells, and they'd be making a lot more money if people were forced on gas. Like a lot of these globalists are pushing, because they own gas as well. So I would make money off gasoline getting shut down. But I don't, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to keep the whole economy going. I don't want to be the only person with money and nobody else has got it. And again, it's not that much money anyways. Hell, all over East Texas and areas, it's like most people have a gas well in their backyard. And not much comes out of them, but we've got a few good-sized ones, but they've got them turned off because gas prices are so low. And again, people don't understand energy. They don't understand anything. They just know it's hype. It's fun to say, I'm part of the Raza. And then CNN has the nerve. Here's the report. We've got the newscast up there as well. Sally Kohn is a progressive activist, read revolutionary overthrow technician, columnist and television commentator. And it goes on. She says that the